So, babe, I remember scrolling through Instagram and watching this guy like spend like $100,000 on ads. Did a whole campaign, right? Photo shoot, video shoot, had the Lambo, private jet, all that stuff, right? $100,000 on ads, did this launch, and claimed to make like $1 million, right? And it made me think, like, are we doing this wrong? Right? because we messed around and, passed over $1 million in sales, basically in our sweatpants. I mean, so
without running ads, just word of mouth, quality branding, being consistent.
Very few followers, right? We very little, I don't know, like not much to do, right?
Right. But that's how the comparison trap hits a lot of folks.
Yeah. It hits them, right? Comparing themselves. Because I got to admit, when I saw that stuff, I did feel some type of way. Right? I mean, just the fact that just to be able to spend $100,000 on ads alone.
I know.
I'm not even thinking about all the other stuff. But then, to have the kind of all the fly stuff. I mean, it was cool. I mean, it'd be nice to make $1 million that way.
I mean, if you like the flash, yeah.
Right. And most people do, right? Most people do like the flash. But it's true. Comparison, man, it'll kill you.
This is the brand. This is the voice. This is the pain. They move by choice. Charles and John say we don't chase trends. Brand currency, where purpose begins.
Welcome to the Brand Currency Podcast, a show where we break down branding and design in a way that actually makes sense for your business. My name is Charles McGill. I'm your host, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host.
I'm Johnsy McGill, his wife and partner in business.
Yeah, don't she look pretty in pink?
Oh, thanks, man.
Looking good over there.
Oh, my goodness.
So we talking about comparison. Yeah, comparison everywhere. In this age of social media, it's so easy to compare. When you were in high school, did you ever compare yourself to anybody?
Oh, you know what? I don't believe I did. My high school wasn't really like that.
It wasn't really like that, but I also know something about you. You always had that confidence.
I did. Like, I've never cared what anybody thought about me. I still don't.
Yeah, I know. I love that.
I mean, I care what, potential clients may think about our company, our brand, but in general, outside of business, on a personal level, no.
Yeah.
No.
Well, see, I'm someone who does care, right?
You do.
I do. And it's more about like, me being reflective and like, being like, someone that wants to improve. So I don't want to be like so in a place where I can't accept, people telling me I can improve or can be better, right? So I look for ways to improve. So I look to compare, but I've learned that comparison is like, it can be really bad.
Very bad, because that comparison mindset can keep people stuck, and just thinking thoughts of like, why can't I grow? Why can't I be like this person?
Yeah.
What's wrong with me?
Yeah.
And that's, people shouldn't do that.
You shouldn't do that.
They should just focus on themselves.
They should, but it's so easy to compare nowadays. I mean, think about it. When you go, as soon as you open your phone.
That's true.
As soon as you open your phone.
You're right.
What do you see on Instagram?
Somebody doing something fabulous off in a Greek island on a yacht.
Yes.
In a size 2 bikini.
Yeah. You always see the best of people, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's like, it don't matter what it is. What I've noticed too is like, depending on whatever you're interested in, like, sometimes, I get a lot of couple content. Right. So married people in business.
Our content is very different for whatever reason.
There's a lot of reasons why it's different. So, I mean, our interests are different. We're different people, right?
Yes.
But that's also what makes us work. We're very different. But the thing is, like, when I see that couple content, even the couple content, it makes me feel away. Right. And I know you don't, because you look at content differently than I do. I'm somebody that looks at it and goes, am I doing right? Because, it'll be like, you know, sometimes what I'll see, it depends on what I see. But sometimes I'll see like, you know, a husband and he's like, you know, I mean, he acting like, you know, like the best husband in the world, right? In the
like
sense
the
of
guy who he cleans the house
he cleans the
for the wife
house,
and
massages.
yeah, he
He
is
go
thorough
he
too. You
go
know
get
what I'm
the
talking
car
about?
clean. I know what you're talking about. He go get the
Man,
car clean. He gas it up. He come home. He clean everything. It seems like he does everything. Then he puts a wad of cash, you know,
in her purse.
in her purse or in her car or something like that. And I'm like, yo, here's the thing. I actually like that content, right?
Mhm.
And I like
I
it.
think it's sweet.
I know you do. I'm sure a lot of women do. And I'm sure that's the point of it, right? But it also, if you're not careful, will have a man feel a certain way, right? Because you be like, man, you know, am I supposed to be doing all this stuff? Like, you know, but here's the thing though, see, because that's you giving me that look. There's other content out there where I see women
doing all the things.
Man, they do all the things.
You mean like some of the videos that you send
that
me?
I send you? That's right. That's right. I do send you some of those videos. Like, hey, did you see this?
And I'll be like, nah, this.
Yeah. Scroll past that. Make sure this is in your feed. Like, you know, the ones like where, you know, the video come on and it'd be like, you know, that song Cater to You would be on, you know, playing in the background. Yeah, you know, give them the massage and all that.
Those were the days.
Oh man, because I'm like, yeah, I mean, you know, what was she doing? She was doing massage, head massage.
Oh,
and then she was like,
and a facial,
rubbing the feet, facial.
Steam.
She did the hands, made food. I'm like, yo. Meanwhile, you like watch this other video. But here's the thing, and that's the point I'm making is that that's not real life.
Right.
And for a lot of reasons, you and I don't operate that way. Not that we don't want to. Not that
I mean, we do occasionally.
That's what I'm saying. Not that we haven't done things like that for each other. We have.
And if we ask, we will comply.
That's right.
But that's not our everyday reality. It's not our everyday. Like, we're not trying to film, you know, you rubbing my feet or anything like that.
Yeah. And mind you, you know what I'm saying, and I'll let you say it. How are my foot rubs, by the way?
Oh my goodness.
Go ahead, talk about it.
They are literally the best thing on the planet. Almost.
Yeah.
Second best thing.
What? Oh, don't hey now. See. I didn't expect. I didn't expect you to say that.
That's one of the reasons I married you. Is the foot rubs.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. I put a lot of love in those foot rubs. So what you asked me, because I remember one time you asked me, you were like, "Why are these so good?" Like you know, compared to whatever, and you paid for them.
All the pedicures I've had in my 30 years on this planet.
30 years. I got that. Okay.
Why are your foot rubs so amazing?
Yes. And I only have one answer for you. It's intentionality. Because I really love you. And so the people that are rubbing your feet, whoever they are, I can guarantee they don't love you the way I do.
That is so true.
So I'm paying attention. I'm focused. I'm understanding, like what you enjoy about that foot rub. And then I try to, because I'm a person of habit, I try to make sure it's consistent.
If I go get a pedicure, that experience is for me. So the person doing it, they're not necessarily enjoying the experience, right?
Well, I mean, they're getting paid for it, but but they're not trying to be that intentional, likely, right? But anyway, let's get back to this comparison thing. The thing is, like, when I see those videos, I mean, it don't matter what video it is, like, and I think about, like, even as someone who's, successful in life in a lot of different ways, in business and things like that, there's still obviously ways that I can be more successful. But when I see people who are at their top, and it seems like they're just iced out, they got all this jewelry, or they got the car, or they got the house, or they got the whatever. It just, there's just something in me. It does make me feel away, right? And I know there's a lot of people who feel like that. I know there's a lot of, men, women, whether you're younger, you're older, you're constantly caught in this trap of comparing yourself. And it oftentimes, unfortunately, what it leads to, if you're not careful, it leads to things like, feeling anxious about your next move, right? It leads to you trying to overcompensate in ways to make yourself feel better. So you start overspending or mismanaging your money. right? Because you're trying to keep up with the Joneses, right?
Oh man,
I'm dating myself with that phrase.
Isn't it still relevant?
Well, you say keep up with the Kardashians.
Oh,
That's what they say now. But keep it up with the Joneses. I mean, our audience would understand that, you know. And then it often leads to insecurity, right? And sometimes you got folks that will, spend thousands of dollars on things, and not make a lot of money from it, and just because they see somebody else do it. But what they may not understand is that person that might have spent, $15,000 for that photo shoot or for that, that whole experience, whatever they got, may not be getting a return on their investment. They may not have made any money from that. That person that spends, $50,000 on ads or $30,000 on ads may not see a return. They may just make enough just to barely cover their ads, and that's a risk. And sometimes, you see things like that, you hear that, and you think, oh man, I should be doing that. But you're not really understanding everything that's happening behind the scenes. Yeah,
because people are comparing themselves to these people that they're watching who don't even own their own brand, right? It's just like a lifestyle. It's lifestyle content to attract people.
Correct. Yeah. When you say don't own it, mean like it's not their actual life.
It's not their actual life.
Yeah. They're renting it out.
They're renting their brand.
Renting their brand.
They're renting that life. They're, for show as opposed to, the real life every day. This is what I'm doing in business.
Yeah.
As opposed to here I am on vacation all the time. Not actually working.
And it appears that way, right?
Right.
And you think that, because maybe they got a whole bunch of followers that they must have money. Right. And not to say that people who don't have a lot of followers don't have money. It's obviously there are people that do. But the assumption is, especially when you're in that comparison kind of spirit, is that whenever you see someone that has a lot of numbers, they have hundreds of thousands of followers or whatever, you're like, they must be getting paid.
Right.
They must be doing well. And it doesn't always translate.
Right.
And, we're not trying to tell nobody's business, but, you can just ask around. Just ask around, y'all. If you know any influencers and ask their friends, do all the people that really got it like that? Do they really have the money? They will tell you they don't, right?
So what does that mean? That means that you don't necessarily have to have a huge following.
You don't have to have a huge following. You don't have to have a huge budget, right? But the thing is, people get caught up in those things, thinking that those are requirements in order for them to make good money. And it's just simply not true. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to help people, right?
That's right.
Trying to help people understand that that's not exactly what they need to be focusing on.
Yeah, you don't have to chase the followers.
No.
You don't have to chase the glitz. You don't have to try to keep up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
Just be intentional with yourself, with your purpose. Focus on your mission in business. And hopefully it's not just to make money. Hopefully you want to make an impact.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. You got to be grounded in purpose and align with that. And if you're not aligned, and if you're just chasing those things, and you're just comparing and seeing what people do, and you assume that you should do the same, like that leads to some trouble. As a matter of fact, it makes me kind of reflect on, times where, and like I said, this is more so, I guess, my story rather than yours, because you're not this person. Whenever I've even come to you and talked to you about what others may be doing, you do not want to hear it. Like,
no, because I'm just happy for them. Like, legitimate. I'm like, if I see somebody doing well, I'm like, that is amazing.
Yeah. And I'm happy for them too. But what it makes me think, I'm always more critical about well, how are they doing that? Right? How are they doing that? Should we be doing something different? Because once again, it's just we're doing what we're doing. We've had some success. Can we improve? My answer is yes. But how do we improve? Well, I look to others to see, are there any guides and any examples out there that I can look at and go, okay, this is something that we can, do better at. But I'll tell you, there's been a time where, I think I initially took the comparison probably too far. And, because the thing is what does Tony Robbins say? He says, if you want to be successful, find someone who did what you want to do and just just basically copy them, right? Just
run the play.
Run the play, right? Just basically do what they did.
Uh-huh.
That's a shortcut. And I think there's a lot of truth to that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what people misunderstand about that process is that if you're going to do what they did, if you're going to have the outcome that they had, you have to go through what they went through.
And people don't always know what that.
And people don't always know what that is.
They don't know what that person went through.
No, they don't know. They don't understand.
They just see the now, the present.
Yeah.
But they don't see what it took.
It kind of reminds me of like when people aspire to be a professional athlete, right? And I used to, and the thing is like, I was one of those kids. I used to have hoop dreams,
Mm-hmm.
and I was pretty good, but because I'm logical and I kind of think things through, I quickly did the math, and I was like, based on what I can see, the likelihood of me meeting this goal
Mm-hmm.
is unlikely, not because I'm not talented, not because I can't be the one in a million, but because I haven't put in the work.
Mm.
Like, I used to have to tell kids when I was in education, and they'd be like, yeah, Mr. McGill, I'm going to go to the NBA. I'm going to do it in the NFL. I'm like, okay, cool. You going to NBA? Yeah. Okay. How much basketball do you play? Like, how often do you play? They're like, oh, I just play, at recess, or not recess, but, I was in middle school. So after school.
Mm-hmm.
After school? Okay. How often? Once or twice a week. I'm like, where? Like, with who? Are you training, or is it just like you guys just pick up games? Like, you just playing? I'm just playing. I'm like, nah, bruh.
Nah.
That ain't it. Like, not that you got time, but there's, at this point, if you're already in 8th grade and you're 13 years old, there's already kids right now that play all the time. They're training. They're getting trained by professionals. They're very good right now.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just going to get better. You, on the other hand, you might be good or have some talent, but when you compare the skill set and the work ethic and all that stuff.
Yeah, because the good ones are getting up before school starts.
They're getting up early.
They're in the range.
Yeah, you know what it is.
Because I used to see kids who were really hungry for it out there in the rain.
Exactly.
Playing in the park.
Yeah. And I remember when I was growing up too, guys, play football. There was a group of guys that we just knew were going to make it.
Mm-hmm.
Why did we know they were going to make it? And everyone, like, at the time when I was playing football, I didn't play football, but at the time when my high school was good, it was a good time for like a lot of talent, and everyone that was good pretty much went D1.
Mm.
There were certain ones that we knew were going to go D1 and maybe go further.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the guys. There was not all of them, because football teams like a lot of people.
Yeah. But
there was only a handful that would be running up and down the street, or they'd be pushing a car or a truck or something like that, and they'd be training, going up and down a hill. These certain guys that were always doing that, and it looked crazy. But there were a lot of guys who were not willing to spend their summers doing that.
Not willing to put the reps in.
Oh no, right?
Not willing to work as hard.
No, not at all. But they ended up, those same guys, the same group, they ended up making it, right?
Mm-hmm.
D1, and they messed up in other ways. So some of them went to the field, some didn't, some just kind of, messed up in other ways. But the point is, you think just because you're like, oh man, I'm just as good, or I see that, I want to do that, but you don't think about the work that they put in.
Mm.
You don't think about the process. You don't think about, like, if we go back to like even like this online marketing stuff, when you're doing launches and your brand and all that stuff, when someone tells you, they're like, man, I spent $50,000 on ads.
Mm-hmm.
They're not telling you about the whole funnel process. They're not telling you about all the emails that got created. They're not telling about the team.
Or the split testing.
The split testing, the graphics, the copy. There's so much that goes into it. And then here's the thing too. When you launch something like that, most of the time they're launching over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing a webinar once a week or once a month.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going live and they're doing content.
Different events.
There's so much that they're doing. And so
there's a team behind it to help facilitate.
They're paying.
There is not just the ad spend. It's the team spend too.
Yeah. It's all the overhead, right?
Mm-hmm.
So where did I make a mistake? There was a time and you may remember this, there was a time where we decided that we were gonna, go hard.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that I knew to go hard was to try to replicate what we saw. Right? There were
good
people that had a
there
rhythm.
You go now. Talk about it.
Yeah. They had a rhythm, right?
Uh-huh.
Of just like constantly putting stuff out there.
Yes.
And because we serve a lot of those clients,
Mm-hmm.
we actually get to see the behind the scenes of it. Like we actually get to see like how much it takes. So
what
I felt
the
like
machine looks like.
Yeah. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I had a good idea of like, okay, like I could kind of see what needs to happen logistically, at least on paper, what all needs to happen.
Mm-hmm.
What I did not take into account was being the talent and what that really means. Like when you have to actually show up on camera, right? When you have to, and even if I'm not showing up on camera, to convince you to show up on camera.
It does take some convincing.
And do it once a week.
Uh-huh.
Right? And then from there,
I'm like, I gotta go live. I
Yeah.
gotta make dinner. What about dinner?
Yeah, what about dinner? What about the kids? What
The
about
kids? They gotta go to soccer. I can't go live right now. I'll go live when I get to the playground.
Man, there's so much stuff, right? We gotta do ads for it, right? We gotta
Mm-hmm.
promote it. We gotta post about it. There's so much stuff. And so like you get into that and you don't even realize like everything that you're undertaking by trying to compare yourself to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get overwhelmed, you get swamped. And then if it's not successful, like you said, you start to get insecure, you get critical of yourself, right? Now, thankfully, we actually had, some pretty successful launches.
Mm-hmm.
We actually did pretty well with the things because we understood the groundwork, we understood the foundation, and we did all the things that we were supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Here's where we, I think, messed up because
We are you.
Huh?
We are you.
Both of us.
Oh, okay.
Because
are one.
We are one. Because once we did it,
Mm-hmm.
what do we do next? What do we always do after we do a big launch?
Take it easy.
See, I didn't even. I knew you knew that answer. As soon as we
take it easy instead of going even harder.
Exactly. We take it easy instead of going harder. But why do we take it easy, babe? Like if we're being honest, why do we take it easy after something big like that?
Because it takes a lot out of you.
We're tired.
I'd be tired.
We're tired. Straight tired.
Yes.
And so we ask ourselves at that point, is this something that we really want to continue to do?
Mm-hmm.
Right? At least that way.
Mm-hmm.
And we often conclude, no. And there's some other way.
Mm-hmm.
And we usually figure out another way.
We do.
And that's the beautiful thing about it, is that you don't have to necessarily do it like everybody else.
That's right. Because I don't feel like we do it like everybody else. I feel like the things that we do whenever we plan out a launch, you plan out the bulk of the launch. I just come up with the idea.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's a big part of it. You come up with the ideas and the names and some of the ways we do it. Yep.
And we have fun with it.
Yes, we do.
Sometimes we try to make a little joke or jab at each other
Yep.
and play off of each other.
Yep.
And that's entertaining for us because since we're together all day, every day, it doesn't just have to be work.
It doesn't. And we have fun with it. And one thing that what I've noticed, sometimes people will come to us, ready to do something big, some kind of launch. And they don't understand that, they're trying to compare themselves to people who, honestly may not be as far ahead as they think.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They're like, I want to do all these things and, because I want to make a whole bunch of money. And it's like the people who did all those things didn't necessarily make a whole bunch of money. Not all the time. Sometimes they do.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they don't. Because it's not just about doing all the things. It's about doing it the right way. It's about being intentional. It's about your brand, having strategy, but also like hitting the target.
Yes.
Because you could do all those things and be talking to the wrong audience.
And waste a whole lot of money and time.
Exactly. Absolutely.
And if you don't want to waste money and time, check out this word from our sponsor. Be honest. Does your website actually reflect the level of work you do? Or do you quietly pray no one asks you for your link? If your online presence is making you look less professional than you are, it's time for a reset, and we've made it easy. Introducing the Divine Redesign Movement by Panda Commission. For just $100, we'll create a custom mock-up of a premium website or sales funnel. No commitment, no pressure. You'll get a stunning strategic preview of your new site, built by real designers, not cookie-cutter templates. In under a week, you'll know exactly what your brand could look like when it's working for you. If you love it, we build it. If not, you walk away. Simple. But fair warning, your next client is already judging your digital first impression. Don't let outdated design be the thing that costs you the sale. Spots are limited. Claim your $100 mock-up now at mydivineredesign.com. Panda Commission. Premium design for your business at every stage. So how can folks prevent wasting time and money?
Yeah, well, definitely you gotta not compare yourself, right? I mean, and compare in a healthy way. And what I mean by that is you want to definitely see who's at the top, who's the people that are doing well, and what are they doing for the purpose of education and being informed, not for the purpose of comparing. You want to stay in your lane. You want to make sure that you audit your brand for its impact, right? Not necessarily audit it for the vanity metrics, because that'll deceive you, right? If you audit your brand and you're comparing yourself and you're like, well, I don't have 100,000 followers. I don't have 500,000 followers. And you think that is the requirement that you need to have to get the revenue or have the impact, it's not necessarily the case. There are plenty of examples of people who don't have those things and still do very well and make impact. And so what you want to do is compare the impact and the actual, things like that. And so, because even revenue numbers could be, even that's a vanity metric. Because we know, we've been in business long enough, people who make millions of dollars, we know them. And some of them may make $1 million, but may have spent $950,000 for that year.
Yes. On various things.
Yes. And they only had a profit of 50,000. Or some people who we know people who are making hundreds of thousands or whatever, and they're not seeing a profit at all. They're not even paying themselves. Like they're barely scraping by. And so those numbers, those revenue numbers, are just vanity numbers. They're just like, it's not a real thing. You got to be really thinking about profit, impact, thinking about like what you really take home, what you really keep. And how are you changing lives? How are you transforming people and your social proof and things like that? What you want to do, you want to track your progress. You definitely want to look at your numbers. You want to make sure that that you know what your revenue is, right? That you know
as a business owner, you should.
You should know that. But judging yourself solely on likes and views is not the best way to judge whether or not you're being effective. Judge yourself on your conversions, right? So how many people come to your site and how many people purchase? How many people book a discovery call with you and how many people are then sold after that discovery call? How many people attend your webinar and then get sold on the back end? How many your in-person event? That's the kind of stuff that you should focus on, because even if your numbers are relatively low, if you're converting high, you have a good product. The thing is, we're an example of that.
That's good, Charles. Yes.
Right?
Yeah, I was thinking that because lately, the past couple of months, if somebody gets on a call with you, it's like, how did I not know?
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about something else.
Oh.
Yes. So what I was going to say though, because I thought you were talking about my social media. Because where we're at right now, I'm barely scraping any views, right? It seems like no one is watching.
That's something, Charles. You have no reactions, no likes. Yeah. People just be like, oh. But some people, the people who are booking the calls, they're reading it. They're just not hitting the like. They're not, leaving a comment or anything, or they're not DMing
Nope.
you. They just go straight. Let me just go ahead and
DM,
talk to him.
and then what happens after when we get? That's to your point. What happens once they get the discovery call?
They're like, "This is amazing."
They sign up.
They sign up.
So
They sign up on the spot. If they don't sign up on the spot, then they sign up like later on that day or the next day.
Yeah, or within the week. So here's the thing: like, what would you rather have, right? And this is a rhetorical question for you, because you I know how you would answer this, but like for the audience, what would you rather have? Would you rather have, someone or make a post and it get like 100 likes, shares, it'd be viewed 10,000 times? No, I'm sorry. Okay, I don't know, hundreds of likes,
yes.
hundreds of likes and shares. 10,000 views, all these comments, and it results in a grand total of one sale, right? Or you make a post and it gets 100 views, maybe 3 likes, one from you, one from your business partner, your spouse, and one from your mama. But with that 100 people that saw it, you got 5 booked appointments, and 4 of them purchased.
That sounds good.
I mean, but it don't look sexy though.
Right.
It don't look sexy.
But the previous situation doesn't feel good at all.
Well, if don't see, that's the thing. It does feel good. It
wouldn't feel good because if you're posting like that and getting all those eyeballs and no sales, you're like, that little mindset starts creeping back in.
Of what?
Of, these people are making money. They have these likes and stuff like that. I'm getting the likes, but I'm not making any money. That's
the thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I say that's a vanity metric.
Mm-hmm.
And vanity is by nature, like, it doesn't have any substance.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll make you feel good. Vanity makes you feel good. Those things are like flash in the pan. So like when I can't say that if I made a post and there was a whole bunch of people that liked it and viewed it, I wouldn't feel good. It makes you feel good for a second.
Mm-hmm.
But when you realize that there's nothing behind it, right? It doesn't feel good. To your point, it's empty, right? But like for me, if you make it in a smaller, right? It's a smaller audience, not a lot of fanfare, and not everybody's loving it. At least it doesn't seem that way. But then your bank account suggests that people do, in fact, love it, right? It feels better in the end. But here's the thing. Most people can't tolerate that. Think about it in real life. When you, and this used to happen to me, I don't know why, in my life. And maybe you could speak to this a different way, but this has been my experience sometimes. If say I was walking in someplace and let's say, as an example, let's say everyone knew me.
Okay.
I walk in and everyone's like, "Hey, what's up?" Like cheers or something like that, right? Back
Charles.
Hey, that feels good, right? It feels great, right? And you sit down and everyone's laughing and chilling, right? And but at the end of the night, you may be going through some things personally. No one really cares because no one really knows you. They just like you and you're fun, and that's it. And they're not trying to get too deep with you. You might be going. You try to change the subject. You like, hey man, this thing is happening. They like, hey yo, chill. Don't bring down the vibe, man. Like, let's get back to what we know you for, which is fun. And you're like, oh man. You go home. You're like, that sucks. You're by yourself. Or you walk in, right? And people look around, they see you, don't really notice you, maybe not even notice you. Maybe one or two say hi, but they're not making you feel like no star. But you sit down, you're talking, and you end up meeting somebody, and they're giving you that time, and they're really like investing in you, and they're like, what's going on? How can I, let's, and you have a really great time with them, and you end up leaving feeling more fulfilled. Maybe you leave with them, and there's something deeper that happens, right?
Something blossoms.
Something blossoms. Which one feels better?
The blossoming.
It does. But people have to admit, and this is where it's hard, is that initial feeling when you first walk in and no one notices you, you can't, well, a lot of people can't help but to feel away. in that moment. But it takes maturity and it takes self-development and personal development for you to realize that those kind of things it's just vanity. It's not real. You know what I mean? It's not real. And it may feel good in a moment, but what we're after and what we've been after as a company and what we encourage our clients to do is to have that substance.
Yes.
Right? To be about the substance, to be about things that matter. Because it doesn't always look sexy at first. Right? But if done right, it will blossom into something that's bigger. You'll make real money out of it. And so when it comes to like your business, investing in things like being consistent, which sounds boring.
It sounds boring to me.
Sounds boring to you.
But I know it works.
Listen, sometimes a boring business is a good business.
That's true.
And what I mean by that is like things just run.
Yeah.
You know, things are just like doing what they're supposed to do. You don't have all this excitement.
The people that go to that business, the clients, they feel secure.
Yeah.
Because that business is like Old Faithful.
Old Faithful does what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
It's not tripping off of, think about like big corporations, right? Like, I mean, think about Chick-fil-A. And people always use that as an example, right? For the most part, you don't see them, chasing trends, if you will, right? They're not necessarily, they're like, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're about. This is who we are.
Their marketing is so consistent. It's like you're either going to see an ad for cows saying eat more chicken or somebody sitting on the couch, like a Chick-fil-A employee talking to a customer.
Yes.
Talking about their interaction and how wonderful it was.
Yeah.
They had that
social
blossoming.
Proof. Yep. That's it. That's pretty much it.
And that's it. They don't do anything else.
That's pretty much it. And they're not open on Sundays and they don't care how you feel about it.
That's right. Consistent.
Consistent. But every time you go.
And I know not to go on Sunday.
That's right. But every time you go and you order that chicken sandwich, what's going to happen?
It's always going to hit.
That's the way it is. Right? And so some people may think that that's not necessarily, the sexiest thing because maybe, you got someone like Taco Bell who's always literally changing. I don't know. First of all, I don't know anyone who eats there, but they're still surviving. Maybe it's just a young folk.
Maybe because I think people think it's sketchy because they change the menu so often.
They keep changing their things.
They're just like, what's wrong with the beef?
Man,
what's wrong with the beef?
They got fries and they got that chicken nuggets I saw. They was serving breakfast. They all over the place. I don't know their numbers. It's giving desperate.
Because I certainly see more Chick-fil-A's.
But but that's the thing, like having clarity, having focus, focusing on the things that matter, focusing on, and it's hard. I admit it's hard. And I understand when people feel like they need to change it up a lot because things slow down or whatever. But typically that is not the right way to go when it comes to establishing your brand and doing good business. You want to be consistent. You got to figure out a way to lessen the distractions and stop those unhealthy comparisons because they really, really take you off your path. And oftentimes what you'll see is the businesses that really do really well, they're tried and true. They have staying power. That staying power, to your point, is their ability to be reliable. Their ability to, have people always know what to expect. There's something very powerful in that. You think about maybe some of like your greatest relationships that you ever have in life. They typically involve someone that you can count on and that you trust, and no matter what's going on, you know what they're going to do.
That sounds nice.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I have you.
Say more. Say more.
Always rub my feet
when
I ask you to.
Hey, there it is. There it is. Hey, listen, I can't front. And just like I have you. And whenever I need a really nice home cooked meal that's going to make me feel good, that's going to bring me back to like when my mama used to make food, I can count on you.
That's right.
Yeah. Why is your voice getting all soft? You feel like we about to mellow out like with the...
No, it's just getting all sentimental.
No.
And stuff.
Yes, yes.
I was in my feels.
Okay, so I'll close with this. And here's the thing: like the truth is, you should focus on, building in the dark, building things for real behind the scenes. The things that happen in public aren't always like the things that are really, the truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
The things that we see outwardly aren't always the things that are really, the truth. Focus on, not getting distracted, not the vanity metrics of the views and the likes and even the glitz and the glam. It's hard. Try your best not to focus on it. Focus on the substance. Focus on things that actually work. Focus on things that convert. Because at the end of the day, if you are doing all those things, but your sales are low, your revenue's low, it's not working. And if you're doing all those things and you are getting revenue, but your profit is low, you're still paycheck to paycheck, you're not able to really move the way you want to, there's something you got to change. We're about that substance, right? Not about the vanity.
That's right. You don't need to go viral. You just need to have value, provide value, and value doesn't show up on the scroll.
Not all the time.
Not all the time.
No, you're going to see a lot of vanity.
No value in the vanity.
There you go. I like that.
So if you want to focus on creating value with your brand and getting higher conversions, hit us up at Panda Commission.
And you want to focus on higher conversions because those are things that really matter, not necessarily you going viral. It'd be great if you could do both, but that's not the thing that you should be measuring yourself on. And here's the thing, with Panda Commission, we focus on value. We focus on doing things the right way. If you want to become a part of our Panda fam, it's super easy. You can go to pandacommission.com, check out what we offer, or you could just follow us and, comment, like, share, subscribe to, if you like this episode, go ahead and subscribe. Also share it with your friends and family and your colleagues, anyone who's a little bit stuck maybe with their brand. They're stuck. They're trying to do all the things, but they're not really doing it right. Send them our way. We can help them out.
What if your content looked as good as your offer? Introducing Panda Market, your new secret weapon for scroll-stopping content. We've got done-for-you Canva templates that are bold, beautiful, and built to convert. No more wrestling with design. Just drag, drop, post, and watch your brand glow up. New templates drop every month, so your content never gets stale. Get yours now at thepandamarket.com. Your feed will thank you.